I'm Sydney Thomas, and welcome to Season 3 of Like a Farmer.
Hey, y'all, it's Pat with Like a Farmer. Welcome to Season 3. Thank you for the support the last 2 seasons. I am so excited for this Season 3 opener. And as always, remember to follow us along on YouTube every single Wednesday or wherever you listen to your audio podcast. Sydney Thomas, you have no idea how excited I am to have you in the studio today.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
I just want to start from, let's just go from maybe, I'm just assuming here, the biggest night of your life so far. You have a lot of other big nights coming. Don't worry about that. The Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight.
Yep.
I mean, just start from the beginning. How did that even happen?
Well, pretty much the MVP, which is Jake Paul's promotional team, had reached out to me over email in the summer and asked if I'd be able to do the Tyson Paul fight that was supposed to happen in July, or I think it was July, yeah. And I was originally going to be in Europe that week. And so I was like, dang, like I'm going to be out of town. I'm not going to be able to make it. So I had to pass it up. And I was so sad because I was like, this is such a cool opportunity to be a model for a fight that's going to be so huge. So I was really sad about it. And then Tyson got hurt and everything. And then they reached back out again when they rescheduled this fight. And then they were like, we're doing this new fight. Like, you could still do it. And I was like, heck yeah, I'd love to. Like, even if I have anything on my calendar, like, cancel it, I'll be there. So yeah, I mean, they just reached out through email and pretty much just was like, yeah, I'll do it.
So is that something where they literally just find Sydney Thomas like, hey, she looks like she'd be a great fit? Or is it something that you have to apply to, or how does that work?
I think it was just they saw me on social media and were like, I think that she'd be a good position for this role. So I didn't apply to anything. I didn't even know like ring girl stuff was that big of a thing. And then they reached out and I was like, yeah, I'll do it, That's unbelievable. Yeah.
And you're talking about, Jake Paul, who's done a great job with his brand as a boxer, his next chapter in life. But then, you got Mike Tyson.
Right.
You're in the ring with the greatest of all time.
Right. Before I even was asked to do it, like I had heard about the fight myself, and I'm not into boxing at all. I know nothing about it, but I even had heard that Mike Tyson was coming back to do another fight against Jake Paul. And I was like, this is the craziest thing ever. Like some YouTuber fighting like this icon legend, Mike Tyson. I was like, this just is crazy. And then they reached out to me about it. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, how do I have any involvement in this? But I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm a boxing fan now. We'll do it.
I love that. And then so right after the fight, does your social media just absolutely blow up?
Yeah. The night before the fight, when we were doing the weigh-ins and stuff, it got a bunch of publicity because, Tyson had slapped Paul. And we're just in the background standing there, like, smiling the entire time. And everyone's like, it has to be fake. Like, the ring girls didn't even move, like, they're just standing there smiling. They don't flinch. And so, like, that was when we first started to get a bunch of attention. And I realized, like, oh, my gosh, like, people are coming to my accounts, like, following me. And, like, we're kind of in the news already. And then it was after the fight that, like, I really started to realize, like, oh my gosh, like I'm updating my Instagram and I'm going up by like the tens of thousands, like every second, like, which was so crazy. So yeah, it just like took off, and it was for days after that. It kept like just going up and up and up.
I don't think people realize how hard that job is. Every time, because I watched the fight as well, every time they scan to you, you're just smiling there. Is that like a job requirement?
When she trains us to do it, she's like, the entire time you're up there, like, you don't know when you could be in the background of a picture or on camera, because you don't know, like, obviously there's the camera up front that's streaming, and you see the red light turn on, and that's when you know it's recording. But there's always cameras around that you don't know when those ones are going to be recording either. So the whole time you're up there, you're just smiling, and if you need to, you can kind of close your mouth and do like a soft smile. But I'm just up there cheesing the entire time. And you don't realize how hard it is to, like, especially like in between rounds when they're like waiting to announce the different players. It's like, it can go on for like 5-6 minutes and you're just standing there like squeezing your cheeks the whole time and your mouth just starts to twitch. And I tell all my friends, I'm like, go into your room and sit there for 5 minutes and hold a genuine smile and see how hard it is. Because people are like, it's so easy, but it's really hard. Like, it hurts.
It's like, hey, this is not just easy job. This is something like, you go try it. And I love that.
Yeah.
The coolest thing about this, Sydney, and this is why we started the show, we're on season 3, which thank you for opening season 3.
Of course.
Boom, love that.
So excited.
Is you see these people on social media and you don't know their background. You don't know who they are. They go viral. And you're just looking at yourself on a Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. Well, then it comes down to the fact of, myself and you, we share the same agency in CAA. Shout out CAA, love CAA. But then it's like, I get a call like, hey, you really want to know who this Sydney Thomas girl is. She's not just the ring girl, even though you sometimes like to just say, I'm the ring girl. But you're more than that. You have a full background of, you're from the Midwest.
Yeah.
You want to talk about agriculture and that rural America lifestyle. I mean, that is Midwest. So I'm going to start there. Like, tell me about how you grew up, where you grew up, and the whole background. Yeah,
so I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, in like the suburbs area, like about like 20 minutes outside of downtown. I mean, I don't think I could have asked for a greater place to be raised, just with the foundation that gave me and just kind of the morals and the structure of just growing up in the Midwest. My family has a lot of land, kind of like an hour outside of St. Louis. And so we grew up going out there all the time, spent a lot of time out on the lake, fishing, riding four-wheelers, exploring in the woods, golf carts, all that stuff. And so, yeah, I've grown up not in like a big city atmosphere and just lots of like family values and stuff. I feel like it's a very Midwestern thing to be very like family oriented. So I've held those values with me. And just as I've continued to grow and step outside of, just the Midwest and experience life in bigger city areas. And so, yeah, it's a cool upbringing to have, especially just in what I do. I feel like most people are from like the LA or the New York or those bigger cities. And so being that I'm from the Midwest and like St. Louis, it's just such a different perspective than most people have. And a lot of people honestly are shocked when I tell them that. They're like, where are you from? I'm like, oh, Missouri. Like, Missouri? Like, where even is that on the map? It's weird, but yeah, I loved it.
I love that you hit on the values of how you were brought up and even in those certain areas. And I keep on saying the rural America, this is a lifestyle, right? And it's the values of family and faith and opening the door for women and taking your hat off when you walk inside and shaking a man, his hand and looking him in his eyes. It's those values that you learn growing up.
Right.
And that's who you are. And that's what I love. I mean, you hit it right on the head. You see yourself on social media. It's like, oh, that girl must be from Miami
right.
or LA or New York City. It's like, actually, right. No, I'm a country girl from the Midwest.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So what were your hobbies growing up? Any sports?
Yeah, I was really big into sports. So growing up, I was a gymnast. And then I quit that before high school. And then in high school, I played basketball, I played soccer, and I played field hockey, which field hockey, I think, is another kind of Midwestern sport. Like, I tell people about it around here, and they're like, what even is field hockey? But yeah, so I was a 3-sport athlete. I love sports. I love athletics. I grew up going to the St. Louis Cardinal games all the time. My dad works for the Cardinals. So the sports have always just been a huge thing in my life. And then too, having two brothers, like, it's all that's talked about around my household. So it's kind of just been forced upon me. But very athletic, and I wish I could still play sports. I wish I was still in the sports scene, but, different things have come, so faded away from that. But yeah.
You're getting into the sports scene just in a different
way. Not playing it, but standing there smiling and watching it.
Yeah, there you go. What is the family still back home in St. Louis?
Yes. So my dad still lives in St. Louis, and then my brother goes to Indiana, and then my other brother goes to Mizzou. So we're all in college right now.
I don't like saying this a lot, even though he is a great friend of mine. I give him a hard time. I had Missouri's head football coach on here. Drinkowitz came on the show.
Okay.
And he might be my favorite football coach in college.
Really?
Like, just a great guy. And in Missouri, and you said Indiana, Missouri, you're at Alabama.
Yep.
Like, these are all what I'm calling those, like, Southern-based schools. Not maybe Indiana, but it's that lifestyle of just being in these areas that if you just go 10 or 15 minutes outside of these college cities, it's all farm ground, it's all recreational, and it's being outside.
Yeah.
Like, I love that about you. And you said you grew up riding four-wheelers and, being outdoors. Like, you still have some of that in you, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, we grew up, too, all the time going and visiting my grandparents who lived in Central Illinois, a very small town, about 1,000 people. It's called Bemet, Illinois. And we go there and, you I was 12 years old driving my grandpa's truck to the gas station and filling up a gas tank to go put in the tractor and driving around to all these people's houses that they know because they know everyone in the town. And so, yeah, I mean, it just is it's a cool kind of thing to just having had those experiences growing up and being able to see kind of the smaller town side of life.
There's something to be said about coming from a small town in America that everybody, you can leave your door unlocked and still feel safe at night. Like, there's something to be said about having the opportunity to do that. I'm calling it an opportunity because there's not a lot of people that can even do that.
Right.
And I think when COVID happened, I think people started to see like, man, there might be a different life outside of the city. I should go try that. And more people started buying land and just trying to be self-sustainable, whether it's growing your own crop on the field and just kind of living this lifestyle that we're trying to highlight on the show.
Yeah, and that's exactly what my family did when COVID hit. We pretty much like lived out at what we call like our cabin. So every day, I mean, it's got like 2 bedrooms out there. It's not very big at all, but we just be out there, spend every day outside, like get out on the water. I love fishing. So me and my dad would always be out there fishing, and it just like gives you a peace of mind almost. Like it's just kind of an escape. And just to be out there in nature too. Especially during COVID when everyone was so like uptight about everything. I'm like, it's just a way to like leave kind of the reality of all that and just be free almost.
You're spot on.
Yeah.
What made you choose Alabama to go to school?
Well, so my cousins went there, my 2 cousins, and I always like looked up to them growing up. They're in their late 20s now. And it's funny because like even 10 years after college, my cousin still had Nick Saban as her iPhone background. And I was like, it's just so crazy how like you still kind of hold those pieces of your college experience with you so much later in life. And even like going to family Christmases and stuff, they'd still have the Alabama football games on TV and watching that when none of them are still in college there. And I'm like, I just love that. I love that they can have gone to this school and then still hold that with them as they continue to grow up. And they just always said good things about it. And so I was like, I think I always had that in the back of my head. And then too, just the whole like experience of college is, I know that Alabama had a great college experience and that's kind of what they're known for. And I was like, I kind of want to go there. So I was like, I know wherever I go, I'll end up getting a good education. I was like, I really want to go for the experience. And I know that Alabama too had like the football team and everything. It's huge. And I was like,
let's not act
like
it was.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, I didn't even make it to the playoffs this year, which is embarrassing. And cut that out, man.
Have you even seen you haven't even seen a championship at Alabama, have you?
I think maybe we've seen the SEC championship or one of the smaller championships.
No, I think it was SEC. Maybe your freshman year.
Yeah.
Dang, that's kind of...
it really sucks.
You might be the first class that has never seen a national championship in probably, I don't know. I mean...
Everyone I've talked to...
every 4 years. When's the last time that Alabama hasn't won a championship every 4 years? I bet it's at least 10 or 12 years.
Everyone I talk to, they're like, oh, in your 4 years, you'll at least get one.
Exactly.
And I'm like, well, I've got 1 semester left. I'm like, come on.
What are you studying at Alabama?
I'm studying management and entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Yeah.
And plans after college?
To be honest, I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. I know I have a very business coded mind. So I want to start my own business, and that's what I'm studying is entrepreneurship and kind of how to do that. So I'm going to, as time goes on, I'll figure out kind of the direction I want to go with that. But I want to start something of my own and make it my own and build it from the ground up. So when the time comes, I will kind of figure that out. But right now, just still learning and lots of life experiences to kind of grab along the way still. So we'll figure it out. I don't know. People ask me that. I'm like, I have no idea. Don't stress me out.
Yeah, you're not supposed to know. It's all good.
Yeah.
I play a game on this show.
Okay.
You down to play a game?
Yeah.
So this game is called Give 'em the Boot, presented by Tecovas.
Okay.
So right here, I have a box of Tecova boots, okay?
Okay.
And these are actually your boots to take home.
Oh, wow.
But you're going to open that, and there's going to be 4 questions in that boot.
Okay.
And you are allowed to give one of them the boot.
Okay.
But if you give the first one the boot, that means you have to answer the last 3.
Okay. Oh, so I have to pick one out of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to pick every single one.
All right.
And you're allowed to give it the boot.
Okay. 1 boot. All right, let's see. Okay. Dream fight to be a ring girl in. Okay. Well, I think that this one's being talked about right now, actually.
Okay.
Is Conor McGregor. And I know Jake Paul had said something about maybe him fighting Conor McGregor, but I know that Logan Paul and Conor McGregor are talking right now about fighting. I think that would be a really cool one to be a part of, even if it's Jake or Logan. But a Conor McGregor fight would be huge because that's a name that I've seen on my TV growing up, and all my guy friends love to watch him on TV. So I think that would be cool to do that.
It's a good one.
Yeah. So we'll go with that.
Okay.
We'll go with that one. I'm not going to boot it. Okay.
Do you like those boots, by the way?
I do. I love them. These are nice. I need a pair of black ones. I don't have a pair of black ones yet. Perfect. Okay. Biggest celebrity to reach out after Paul fight. Oh boy. Okay. Let me think if I want to boot this one or not. Because I have some names. I just don't know that I want to expose them.
Do it. It's not a bad thing. They might have just reached out and said hello.
Yeah. Okay. Oh gosh. I don't. I think I'm gonna boot this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna boot it. I don't feel like exposing him, and I just know if I said the name that
Give it the
people
boot.
would probably pick that up and put it on some news source and say, this is the person reaching out. Like, gosh, I don't need any negative publicity right now. All right. Gotta answer these next two.
Yep.
Okay, craziest DM you've gotten since the Paul fight.
At least now you don't have to say who it's from.
Okay. We'll just say this. It was from another SEC football team coach, and they just DM'd me Roll Tide. So I'm not going to say what coach it was, but
Okay.
they're an Alabama fan now, at least.
I love that. All right.
Yeah, we'll let everyone else figure that out for themselves, who it was. Okay, last one. We've got, why did you get kicked out of your sorority? Okay, that's a good one. So basically, at Alabama, the sorority rules are super weird, and they just have a bunch of restrictions, at least for your first few months when you join, I guess, to kind of keep the freshmen in line because, they come to a new school and, like, go crazy. But pretty much they had these rules that you can't stand on elevated surfaces, you can't go to the bars, you can't smoke cigarettes, and there's some other things, some other rules. But pretty much I was like, I don't want to listen to these rules. Like, I'm in a new town. I have no parents telling me what to do. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go to the bars. And to it, there were some other girls in the sorority that were older that were like, oh, like, they don't ever, like, enforce these rules. Like, you're fine. So me and some of my friends, like, about a month into, like, our little pledgeship of this sorority, we're like, okay, let's just go to the bars. So we go to the freshman bar of the school and having a great time. And then president comes up, taps on her shoulder. She's like, what are you doing here? Like, get out. So she takes us outside and she's like, you guys can't be here, tells us to go home. And then on top of that, we're not supposed to stand on elevated surfaces. So we were at some frat event and the DJ or the band's up there performing and we're all like in the crowd having a good time. And then he's pulling some people up on stage to come sing with him. And I'm like, yeah, that's so fun. So I go up on stage and sing Mr. Brightside with this band. And little did I know that that's an elevated surface that they consider in the wrong for standing on. So they text in our big group chat and they're like, if you're at Theta Chi on an elevated surface, like, get down, like, you're not supposed to be doing this, whatever. I just kind of blow it off. And then next thing you know, I get an email from my sorority that's like, hey, like, you have a meeting with the judicial board and whatever. So I go meet with them and they tell me these things I did. And then on top of that, they tell me about this guy that has been, like, emailing them, kind of threatening to expose them for all this, like, crazy stuff that they're allowing to happen to me. All made up, by the way, but it goes so much deeper than that. I had this stalker that had been stalking me for a really long time. I didn't know about it, but he basically just reached out to them and claimed he knew all these things and had all these connections to expose them on these different news sources. And the sorority I was in had like a scandal before of being exposed for some different things. And so they were already, like, super on edge with that. And so I think just everything combined, they realized they're like, she's kind of a liability to us. And especially having a social media platform, like, I don't think that she's going to be a good fit for us right now, just with the fact that they were so in the eye of everything and had a scandal before. So they were like, all right, get the boot. And I was kicked out.
Damn.
So, yeah.
So they gave you the boot.
They gave me the boot. And the funny thing is that I had a few friends that had been doing these things with me and they had the same meetings, but they just got a warning. But unfortunately, I got the boot.
Golly. The stalker thing, too, is super weird.
I know.
Guys, don't be weird out there.
I know. It was so weird. And I even went to the police about it. And so got it put to an end, thankfully. But yeah, it was the craziest thing. And too, being like 3 weeks into college on my own for the first time and all this stuff's just blowing up in my face. And I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. I've got a stalker. I'm getting kicked out of my sorority. I'm like, this is my first time living by myself. I'm like, Mom, Dad, like,
You're living.
what is going on?
Hey, y'all, it's Pat with Like a Farmer. Are you looking to add some local flavors to your recipes? Well, visit freshfromflorida.com today, where you can browse hundreds of delicious recipes that bring Florida freshness to your table all year round. Become a Fresh from Florida member for free and create your own menus. Save and send your favorite dishes and get exclusive access to monthly newsletters packed with fresh local recipes. I can promise you, you will be a favorite in your neighborhood. From the Florida fields to your fork, year-round freshness and flavor are just a logo away. Fresh from Florida, there's a sunshine in every bite. Hey, y'all, today's episode is brought to you by Ag America, your go-to financial partner for all things agriculture. As the largest independent financial firm dedicated to rural America, Ag America is changing the game when it comes to ag lending and leveling up finance options for farmers, ranchers, and landowners across the nation. And I'll let you know a little secret. The thing that sets this company apart from the rest is the people. They understand firsthand the unique needs of American farmers and ranchers because many of them grew up on farms themselves. They take a farmer-focused approach to finance, prioritizing relationships over transactions to help you build a stronger financial foundation for you and your family. So whether you're looking to buy land or secure working capital, Ag America has your back. Visit agamerica.com today to learn more and see how they can help you achieve long-term financial success. Because when farmers thrive, we all do. So did you have a social media platform leading up into college? Like, when did you say I had a platform?
Yeah, so very small, but coming from St. Louis, having 20,000 followers is huge.
Yeah, for sure.
And going into college, not many people have that. So I started pretty much in high school, like junior, senior year, kind of just posting for fun on TikTok and doing little mini fun photo shoots with my friends and posting that on Instagram. And just slowly I started to gain some following. And then once I got to school, everyone's invested in Alabama Rush. So they saw I was going through Rush and I just started picking up followers and kind of grew a lot going right into Alabama. So yeah, started out end of high school and just continued to grow from there. I think Alabama was really what kind of pushed me over the hump to kind of really set me off.
I want to get back to the social media thing. That's really good. Number one, thank you for playing the game.
Of course.
Give them the boot.
Fun game.
I love Tecovas. I mean, look at those boots.
I know. I'm excited to wear these. I'll have to put them to use this weekend in Nashville.
Yeah. Oh, perfect timing.
Yeah.
The second, you mentioned Mr. Brightside. Is that your go-to karaoke song?
It's not my go-to, but it was just what they were singing.
What's your go-to karaoke song? If I gave you one song right now you had to sing, what would you do?
If I'm given one song, it's always the same song, and it's Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood.
Okay.
Yeah. I have had a bad experience with an ex, and I can really feel that one deep in my heart.
You can really kind of dig home on that.
Yeah, I'll be screaming to that one up there.
Like, that was probably the most confident answer Sydney just gave me. Was like, Pat, I already know the answer. F that guy. It's what's it called again? Before he cheats. I do think you're a really good person. Number one, I think you're well spoken. Obviously, you're pretty. Like, I think what you have a platform now, and I know you got kicked out of this sorority, but for University of Alabama, I think you are actually a good person to represent that school. Like, I really want you to know that. So,
thank you.
University of Alabama should keep that in mind. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
On the social media side, like, tell me what you think about social media. Because I think this new media that I'm calling it is how everybody's getting their information these days.
It is, yeah.
Whether it was during the presidential election, they're just, if there's something like the killing of the CEO of United Healthcare, like, people don't just turn on the news. They go on X, they go on TikTok, they go on Instagram just to see what's going on because that's what they believe.
Right.
Like, what are your thoughts on this kind of new media type of stuff?
I mean, I think it's great for those purposes, like getting news and just getting kind of like
accurate information.
Right. The accurate information, the real unbiased or biased, whatever, truth and just everything going on. But there's a flip side to that in the whole kind of like influencer world of things where I think it can be an extremely toxic place, especially with the amount of young kids that are on social media and just you're exposed to way too many things, I feel like, too early. And there's so many things that are so accessible. and to young children that I don't think should be. And also just, I think it's super damaging to mental health. A lot of what's put out there is super fake. And I mean, I don't show every bad aspect of my life on social media, and someone looking in from the outside could say like, oh, her life looks so perfect. And when in reality, there's so many other things going on that's not put on social media, that I'm not living this perfect life as much as it may look like that. So people can compare themselves a lot on there. And I think that can be a really damaging side of social media that I think that there needs to be some sort of a change in, or I'd like to see some sort of a change in. But outside of that, yeah, it is a great source for getting news and the truth and all that stuff. But I even see it in myself, like it's just the constant comparison to just everything that's out there, and just always thinking that you're not enough, or you're not doing enough, or you're not this or that. And it is pretty like harmful to the mental health.
Damn, that was such a great answer. Like, I mean, that was really good.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've been in the space of social media for a while, and just seen as it started to develop, kind of just all the side effects of it. And even within myself, realized those different things. And so, yeah, I don't know what it's going to be like. I mean, there's talk with like TikTok getting banned and stuff like that. And I think that it's growing so rapidly and changing so rapidly that who knows where in a year things will be with social media and the limitations and stuff that they could put on it. Because this conversation's been going on for a while. And I think that there is a need for change, and hopefully things can be changed and something can be put in place to kind of help that. But we'll see. We'll see where things go.
You're so passionate about that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
It seems like philanthropy is really important to you.
Yeah.
Hit on that. I mean, because I think even what you just said, I think there's a campaign to be had, and I think you'd be great to do that on the social media, the mental health case. There's probably an age thing there too, especially I don't think I'm good enough. There, I do think you need to be a certain age before you can start getting on social media.
Yeah.
But tell me what other philanthropy you're passionate about.
Yeah. Well, so after the Tyson Paul fight and everything started to blow up, like a bunch of just like real world questions kind of like fell in my lap that I had to like think about. And I was like, what really do I want to do with a platform this big? And like, what is the purpose of having something like this? And I feel like a lot of people you see have such great platforms and don't really do much with it. Or I don't know, at least for myself, I'm like, being able to reach this many people, I want to make as positive of an impact that I can. So I like just recently I posted on my Instagram about a charity that I'm really passionate about that had really helped my family when we were going through a tough time. And that's the Pink Ribbon Good organization, which helps women with breast cancer kind of dealing with transportation, meals, just support during that time in their journey. So I just being able to share that organization with my audience and kind of like, just bring awareness to that. And then also like anyone who wants to donate and just put that out there. It makes me super fulfilled, just that I'm like helping something that has helped me so much. And then really just being able to share things like that I'm passionate about with my audience and advocate for change, I think is something that I kind of the route I want to go. Because in the end of the day, when I die, I want to say that I've been able to like make a change or be impactful in a way rather than just, oh, I had this platform and I went on and made this much money. Like that's going to mean nothing to me when I'm in the grave. So as much as I can do to make a change, I'm like, that's really where I'd like to go. So
I think it goes back to what we talked about earlier. It all starts about how you were raised, where you come from.
Yeah.
And then it leads to your success today. Josh Allen's a perfect example. The QB of the Buffalo Bills. Josh and I started this show now 2 years ago. Josh, this is my case for the MVP. I mean, honestly, back there, does anybody think that Josh isn't the MVP? Just out of curiosity. Okay, thank you. But, Josh comes from a family farm out of California, and how he was raised, the work ethic, the grind, just to never give up. I mean, the dude got 0 offers out of high school, and now he's going to be the MVP of the NFL. So it all comes back to where you come from, how you were raised. Like, you have this platform now, and there's certain people out there that have a 10, 15 minute of going viral, and they're just complete idiots, just not to be mean or anything, but it's like they just want to do whatever they can do immediately to make as much money, and they don't care what they do, but they have this platform to say. you now are saying, like, I have this platform. How can I do good by it? Like,
Right.
I asked you earlier, like, what's next for Sydney Thomas? And you're starting to figure that out. Like,
Right.
you have this platform and you're not just trying to use it just to use it. You want to use it for good. And, like, I really love that about you. Like, we need more people like you in this world, to be honest with you, because it's not that hard to have this viral moment on social media. The hard part is, what do you do after?
Right, because I could have so easily just taken all these deals from all these different brands and loaded a bunch of ads onto my page and just got my bag and then been like, all right, there we go. Like, did a great job. But I was like, that's not really what matters to me. I'm like, I'm building a personal brand for myself. I'm like, I can pass on all these things and really kind of build this into something and put things out there that I really care to share about, that I really am in touch with myself, that I'm passionate about, not just like, oh, here's this drink brand that go promote it and you can get this amount of money. I'm like, it doesn't really resonate with me. It's not something I care and really makes me who I am. So it's like, why would I be sharing that?
What are some of your like favorite things to do right now? Like, whether it's cooking,
my
fishing?
favorite things right now are cooking and
Are you a good
working
cook?
out. I love to cook. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Steak.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Damn. Are
I
you
love
medium
steak.
rare?
Medium rare.
Okay.
Yep.
If you would have said medium well, we would have had an issue.
No, medium rare. I used to be a well done girl until about a year ago.
A well done steak?
Yep. Yep.
Are you kidding me?
I know. I was almost ordering off the kids' menu.
A well done steak, Sydney.
Yes.
At what point do you go from well done to medium rare?
I honestly don't know. I got really into cooking in this past year, living on my own and kind of having my own place in my own kitchen. And I just developed my taste buds in a way. And I started cooking my own steak and I'm like, wait, I don't need to cook it all the way through. I like it like this. So yeah, medium well, medium rare. But I'm just very into my like health and nutrition. So cooking for myself is like important to me, just to know what's going into my food and that the ingredients I'm using are healthy and not packed and processed with a bunch of chemicals and stuff like that. So I'm very cautious about what I put into my body, and by being able to cook on my own, I can be very aware of that. So I've loved getting into that whole like side of like nutrition.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
What tell me about the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, you grew up going to the Cardinals. Your dad, is he still at the St. Louis Cardinals?
Yep.
Okay,
He's
so
almost on year 30 of being with the Cardinals.
Golly.
Yeah.
So you've been around it your whole life.
Yeah. Since I was a baby, I've been running around that stadium. And it's funny because now that I work there, like most of the people that I run into, they're like, oh, it's so crazy seeing you now. Like, I remember you when you were this big. And yeah, it's kind of a full circle moment, I think, for the entire family. But my role there is kind of like a cheerleader, in-game entertainment kind of thing. But I do some like hosting pregame interviews and stuff up on the big screen. And then mostly during the games, we'll be like shooting out t-shirts off the dugout, or they'll do like different games in between innings. And so we'll be like standing there with like the prize, kind of like showing it off and that type of thing. So it's a really fun job, and just getting to engage with the fans and kind of just have that whole like St. Louis community feel while you're there. It's really nice.
Have you been doing the broadcasting, or is this something that happened after Netflix?
I've been into it kind of before, not a whole lot, and it was never something that I was like, oh, this is what I want to do with my life. Just kind of for fun. I realized like I love being on camera, first of all, but then I was like, I can talk.
No, you say so. God,
Right.
Who would have thought?
I love being in front of the camera, and then my dad, what he does at the game is like host between innings, like games and stuff on the big screen. So he's kind of an in-game host, and so it's been kind of in my blood to do something like that. So from the second I got there, they're like, oh, test yourself out on the mic, and it's just worked out. It's worked out for me. So kind of ran with it and did a few interviews every now and then. And now that all this stuff's kind of blown up with the Tyson Paul fight, I've started to consider it more. Like I've kind of started to build that confidence in front of the camera and like talking to people. And it's definitely a skill I still need to develop some more, but something I've started to consider, like maybe this is something like a direction I could go in broadcasting or interviewing and being on mic. So
You're doing fantastic right now.
thank you.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, like, and it goes back to the social media talk and how they could impersonate somebody. Like, I get a call, and we have a great CAA. I can't say anything bad. CAA they're my most favorite people, and probably my favorite place in the world. That Chrysler Building in New York, holy cow! Like,
I know.
I go in there and I feel like I'm like,
yeah,
I feel like I'm the guy.
it was crazy. I visited there for the first time about like a month ago, pretty much right after the fight and everything, to go visit with them. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was like one of my first times in New York too. And I was like, this is where their office
It's the best,
is. Like,
yeah.
This is crazy.
But so I get a call, and it's like, hey, Sydney Thomas would be great for like a farmer. And I'm like, Sydney Thomas, like the ring girl? Like she's just a ring girl. And I am now sitting here to say that this is one of my favorite interviews because I get to find out like who you are. And like you're well-spoken, you come from a great family, a great area of the country, and like you hard work, you're smart, and like it's just so cool to see like who the person is behind the camera. Does that make sense?
It does,
like,
right.
When on social media, it's just like, oh yeah, she's beautiful. That's it. But like, hell no, man. This girl is like, she's intelligent. She knows what she wants in life. She comes from a hardworking family. She's hardworking herself. She's a complete badass.
Well, thank you.
Like,
Very sweet. And that's the thing too. It's like, I know that. I'm like, I feel like everyone just sees me for what they see. I'm like, no, and they always have their judgments too. I read my comments sometimes. I'm like, little do these people know. And I don't care enough to like explain myself to anyone that has anything negative to say. I'm like, let them be. But I'm like, I really do wish sometimes like people could understand me for me, because it isn't just what you see. And people just take that and run with it and have all these assumptions. I'm like, not everyone who's just out there looking like that is all the same type of way, you know? Like I'm a lot different than most of the people that are in that position. So like doing things like this, it's nice because I'm like, hopefully people can actually see the real me.
What you got to stay out of that comment section, Sid.
I know, and
you have got to stay out of the comments.
I'm not the person you should be telling that to. It's my dad. I'm like, Dad, please do not go reading the comments. He wakes up every day, looks at my name on Safari, scrolls through everything. I'm like, Dad, for the sake of your own mental health, don't do it. I'm like, I can hold myself back, and I can understand and put those people in just a whole different category and be like, you know what? Not my business, but I feel bad. I'm like, Dad, just don't do it to yourself. You don't need to see all those terrible people out there.
Please, Dad, stay out of the comment section. Oh my God, please.
It's my entire family too. Like him and his sister, my aunt, like everyone in my family at this point is like looking me up every day. I'm like, guys, save yourself.
And then you know he's got a list of these boys' names. Like, I'm gonna beat their asses.
He's like, I thought about responding back to him, and I was going to, and I'm like, Dad, don't do it. Do not get yourself involved in this. It's just a never-ending battle. You're never gonna win. You're never gonna win.
So since that fight, though, have you gotten any requests when it comes to jobs, though? Like, obviously other fights, but anything else coming down the pipeline?
It's all a work in progress. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of opportunity, and there's a lot of different directions to go, kind of. But it's still a work in progress. And especially it came at such a weird time, kind of with the end of the year coming around and then the holidays and all this. Like everything kind of slows down around this time. So I'm taking this time to kind of like regroup with myself, because it has been a lot, like on the mental since everything's happened.
Yeah.
It's been very overwhelming. So I'm kind of trying to like gather everything and like organize my thoughts and figure out really what I want to do. And then from there, kind of like figure out the opportunities that are presented, like what direction I want to go with that. So I'm hoping that kind of like after Christmas and the New Year, I'll be able to have kind of like a fresh start and then really decide like the path that I'm wanting to go with everything. Because there is a lot of opportunity out there. It's then just kind of dialing in on what exactly do I want.
Yeah. You're doing it the right way. You really are. What is some of the challenges you think you are facing right now with just your life exploding? I mean, because there's so many different things going on. And this is very important because, I mean, hell, we talk about adversity all the time on this show, whether it's from a farmer facing adversity or an athlete or a musician. Like, it's very important to consider these points because you need to make the right decision. But there's people listening to this episode, like, what is she facing that's a main challenge for her that's hard to like deal with?
Well, so initially after the fight, one of the most challenging things was kind of just like having myself out in such a public eye then. Like I've always been on social media and I've always been in the public eye, but never in front of so many people that all have their judgments, and whether it's their place or not, just like constantly looking up my name. And then, yeah, there's like articles about me and different things that like not everything's true. And there's always different assumptions and all this stuff. And so kind of having to like understand that that's what's going to happen when you're in such a public position in life, and just kind of having to accept that like you don't have control over everything that's said about you and everything, all these assumptions, and you can't correct everyone, and you just have to let people believe what they want to believe. And that's been kind of like something that I've been trying to grasp as all of this has kind of unfolded, is just like letting everything be and just doing me and just ignoring it all, and only considering what I have control over. So that's been hard. And then also too, just how much pressure I feel like has been on me. And I feel like part of it I've kind of put on myself, and just the high expectation I hold for myself, and that I want to be able to do something good with what I've been given. And so then the pressure that I'm like, am I making the right decisions? Am I taking the right steps? Am I doing what's right? I think I've put a pressure on myself that I almost need to like just take a deep breath and be like, it all will work out how it's meant to work out, and just like let God do his thing, and just understand that like it will unfold the way it's meant to, and not, like always be stressing over like, am I doing the right thing? And that's part of it too. It's like everyone's been telling me like, oh, you only have these 15 minutes. So like you gotta grab it now and do something with it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, give me a break. Like, I need time to figure this out. I don't need to jump into something. So just allowing myself to kind of take it slow and figure things out, because you don't have all the answers to everything right out the bat. And especially everything blowing up the way it did, like so much has changed. I'm like, I can't just put my finger on one thing a day after it happens and be like, this is what I'm going with. I'm just taking it day by day. So yeah, those things.
So in this space, like, do you have any person or any mentor that you've talked to or look up to and get advice from?
There's like, I talk to my dad a lot, and he's great to talk to, but he's not very into the whole social media world. So he doesn't know much about that. He's more there just for moral support and stuff like that. Sometimes to stress me out too with the articles and all that. So I'm like, Dad, enough. I hear about it enough. But I mean, having like CAA has been very great, because they've been in the industry for so long and they know so much, and just any question I have, I can go to them and they've always got an answer, and very supportive people. So they've been kind of a great vice for me to just lean on. And yeah, I mean, outside of that, no one really, because I'm not in LA where there's a bunch of people in the social media space, or in New York. Like, I'm in St. Louis and Tuscaloosa, so it's kind of new territories for us. So yeah, other than like family and then CAA, I'd say that's about it.
Who's the coolest person that you've met since everything's blown up?
Oh gosh, I think it was cool to meet Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay.
Yeah. He was at the fight, and I met him there. He's just like insanely huge. I was like, you're even bigger in person, but just cool dude. Walked by, I was like, what's up? I'm like, whoa, hey.
The stories that you hear about that guy are just unbelievable. Like, he'll be going into a restaurant and buy a family a dinner. He'll be going to a car dealership and buy a family a vehicle. Like,
yeah,
that guy seems to be just class act.
Yeah, he is.
I love that. Where do you think, and you just mentioned it, like, you're in Tuscaloosa and you're in St. Louis right now. What you want to do, there might be areas that you just need to be. Like, where do you see yourself, like, right after college moving to?
I've considered a few places. I've been between like South Florida and then, South Florida. I feel like first of all, I love the weather and I love being on the water. And so I think that it's just like a happy place to be. But then as far as just like the social media world, it's so huge out in LA.
It is,
and
you're right.
I've heard very mixed reviews on just the living in LA. So I don't know. I've never been there before, so I have to get out there and at least experience it for myself and see if that's really a place I'd see myself in. But I'd consider that I know it'd be good for business. So I'm still deciding. I at least have to go visit and then see if I like it in the first place and then go from there. So probably between LA and South Florida. I've also considered Nashville. I love Nashville, and it's a great location. It's close to Tuscaloosa. It's close to St. Louis, but it's also a very niche place just with everything. It's very country focused kind of, and country influencers. So I don't know. I just have to weigh everything out, and I've got a little bit of time to decide. So we'll see as time goes on. I think it'll kind of figure itself out.
You're so well spoken. Like
Thank you.
I think one of the things that he needs to do, you need to start a podcast. Number one, that is one thing that people, it seems like, have trended towards.
Yeah.
Because you're really good at it.
Everyone's been telling me that. They're like, "Are you gonna start a podcast?" I'm like, I don't know. Like, maybe. I've never thought of myself as a person to like be able to host a podcast or anything like that. But
I mean, I
could
think
be in
it's
there.
important to really highlight just where you have come from and where you're at now and where you're going. I do think that, because I mean, what's one or two things that have happened in your life, like when it comes to adversity, that you've had to overcome to be where you're at today?
I think the biggest thing that I've had to overcome and still am working on is my mom passing away. She passed away about like a year and a half ago now. And I mean, that to this day is the hardest thing that I've been through and still working through. But losing her like really kind of just shaped my entire like outlook on life. And like you don't really realize what it's like to lose a parent until you go through it yourself. And so I have a very unique outlook on just death and like losing a parent in general. And a lot of people tell me that like it's amazing how like well you've done since having lost your mom, and just kind of like the mindset you have on it all. And I mean, the way I look at it is like I know that she would want me to be doing what makes me happiest, and she would want me to be happy. And so I walk through every day just knowing that in the back of my head that like I don't, as much as I do miss her and it's hard without her, it's like I have to be strong for her and for myself and keep moving through life and keep doing it with a smile on my face, because I know that that's what would make her happy and that's what she'd want for me. So yeah, I mean that's definitely something that has completely changed my life, and just the outlook I have, and that, you're not guaranteed every day of life. And so, take advantage of what you've got and do it with your heart. And yeah.
See, and it's things like that, and I'm sorry to hear about your mom. And it's like you had to face that. You're still facing that, but you're doing what you think she would want you to be doing. That's being happy. But then on the side, like I keep on going back to it, because I truly think, and I want to help too. We need to figure out how we can do some philanthropy together. Like you're doing some philanthropy for that.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to make a difference in this world because of things that have happened in your past.
Right.
Like there's not a ton of people out there that do that.
Right.
And you see that you have a platform to do it. Like that's awesome. Like that's what, I mean, look at what Like a Farmer is like. I have this platform and I want to shine light on anybody and everybody that they don't have to come from a farm or from St. Louis or rural America. I want them to appreciate it, because I think farmers are somebody that we have to have every single day in our lives. And it's like, there's a philanthropy piece to that too. Like I want to support them because they support us. And like what you have done and what you have seen in your past, you were trying to help support to make a difference. There's not a ton of people out there that do that.
Right. And even too, in some sense, I want to be kind of like a source of inspiration to people that maybe do or have gone through the same thing or something similar and are struggling with that, and can maybe see me as someone like, oh, like I can relate to her. We've been through the same thing, and like she can have this outlook that is inspiring, that like she can walk through life and hold a smile on her face and not hold on to that, grief and sadness. And there are brighter days to come, and there is a brighter end of the tunnel. And I'm hoping that other people that have gone through the same thing can see that and be like, okay, like things will be okay. Like she can be okay. I can be okay. And kind of take inspiration from that, it's hard, and I'm not going to discount that, but there is another side of things, and things can get better and will get better.
Before we wrap up, you come from rural America. Like, what are your thoughts on kind of that lifestyle and the farmers and the ranchers and all? I mean, you got the Dairy Boy hat on, which I love that. It's fantastic. Who's that signed by?
One of my friends. It was his hat. And he was like, I'm signing it. I give it to you. Shout out Louie.
Shout out Louie. But what are your thoughts? And like, if you had some advice for those people out there, like, how do you feel about them?
Like farmers and stuff like that? Yeah. I mean, I think it's great what they do. And I think it's a very necessary thing in this world. And I mean, my grandpa worked a grain elevator for 40 years, and they live in in this rural area, they grow corn and soybeans. So I've been around that, and I grew up going to the grain elevator and going out to his farm and picking corn and shucking it and all that stuff. So I've been around it. I think it's great. I mean, keep doing what you're doing. Like, I think it's a necessary thing to have, and I love it. And I love my cowboy boots. So yeah.
I love that. I think it's so cool, the different type of people we get on this show. And it's like, you don't have to come from the farm. You don't even have to own a farm. It don't matter. You just appreciate it. And it's like things like that. It's very important to say, because you'll be very surprised the similarities that you have in you that those people have. And that's hard work. It's grit. It's 24/7 work ethic. Like, it's adversity, facing adversity. It's never giving up. And like, you have some of that stuff embodied in you that I think is going to bring you a long way in life. I really do.
Yeah, well, thank you. And I hope so. I mean, like, I wasn't given everything. Like, I feel like a lot of people I meet at school and stuff, they've got their parents' credit card or, running up their parents' bills. And I'm over here. My parents, as soon as I got to high school, they're like, here, you go get a job, you make your money, and
what was your first
buy
job
your clothes.
Out of high school?
Oh gosh, I worked at Cold Stone.
Oh,
yeah, I was an ice cream scooper. So it was a great job. I loved it. I ate a bunch of ice cream there. It was a fun job to have. But yeah, I mean, I grew up working and then go buy my clothes at Plato's Closet. Like, they're like, if you want new clothes, go buy them yourself. I was like, okay, I will. And I think that like, having been raised like that has very, very much instilled that work ethic, like you said, in me. That's like, which is why I go after what I want and why I've worked so hard to build something for myself, because I'm like, I've never just been handed things. It's like, you always got to work for it. And so I think that that's a very important skill to have growing up. And at least once you get into the real world, like, understanding that you have to work for what you want. And I have big dreams and big goals and aspirations, and I've got to work for it. So yeah, going after it.
Look, go on after it.
Going after it.
Go on after it. I love that.
Yeah.
Last question. Where do you see yourself in, I'm going to shorten up a little. Where do you see yourself in 2 years? Where does Sydney Thomas see herself in 2 years?
Okay. Big question. Well, I see myself having graduated and gotten my degree. I see myself with my own business running. I don't know what it's going to be, but something that I'm the head of, and I've just got whole business running, and they're very successful. I see myself on TV in some way. Yeah, I don't know exactly where that's going to fit in, but I definitely see myself on TV, and continuing to work in front of the camera. And I also see myself with a husband. Well, not a husband, not married by then, but a man in my life that I could see being my husband. So yeah.
Damn, all in 2 years?
Yeah.
Sydney Thomas is taking applications, boys.
I'm ready for it.
Taking applications. Who's like, what do you want? Like, you want like a cowboy, country boy?
I don't know. I really don't know. I used to think yes. I used to think I wanted a country singer. I've grown up telling my family, I'm like, I will marry a country singer. I think that'd be ideal life,
Oh my God. What happened, Sydney? What happened, Sydney? Because now you said, well, I used to think that, but now like.
Well, now I'm like, I don't know. I could see myself being with a country singer. I could see myself being with a businessman. I feel like just anyone that has a strong work ethic. I think someone that works hard and goes after what they want and just has success in their life in some way. I think that I've worked hard for what I want and continue to. And I think someone that can match that is what I look for. So yeah, I'm open to anything. I don't really have a specific, like, I want it to be this way, just because my mind's always changing in what I want, but definitely just bare minimum of like success in some sort of way and just a good work ethic to work towards that.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for coming on the show.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
This has been awesome. You did a great job, and you're going to continue to, like, whatever you do in life, I know you're going to kick ass in, because seriously, I'm a huge fan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I appreciate y'all for tuning in to episode 1 of season 3 of Like a Farmer with Miss Sydney Thomas. As always, new episodes of Like a Farmer come out every single Wednesday on YouTube or wherever you listen to your audio podcast. Get ready for an epic season 3 of Like a Farmer.